Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of The Clueless Founder. My name is Craig, and this is my channel where I document my story for building my business in Africa in 2025. Come along for the journey. So, yes, if you've watched the first two episodes, episode 1, I dove deep into my vision for what I want to build. It was a whole lot of cringe of getting used to the camera and showing up. I'm still nervous. I'm still shaky. I'm still clumsy in front of the camera. I still take 3 hours to find 20 minutes worth of usable bits so that I can actually put an episode together. And I did that in episode 1. I shared openly about what my vision is for the future, what my vision is for Catalyst Hub, the business platform that I'm building, and also for this storytelling channel, Clueless Founder. I shared a little bit about that. In episode 2, I dove a little bit deeper into what is available on Catalyst Hub when we go live, or what's available on the platform today. So if you want to go and check those stories out, they are available on the playlist for you to see. If this is your first episode, welcome. This is a raw, warts and all story telling channel about me building business and documenting my journey for all to see. But as I always say, this is not just my channel, it's your channel too. And if you're working on something amazing and you're working on something cool that you want the world to know about, then please use what's available in the comments or what's available in the descriptions to get a hold of me, and let's start telling your story. There's a couple of people that I'm lining up to get on the channel with me already, and I'm excited to share what we're working on, but that's for a future episode. Today's episode, I want to share a little bit about my personal funding journey, how I fund all of them. Just share a little bit about funding instruments that I've engaged with over the last while. To frame the episode for today, I wanted to tell a little story. And no, I'm not going to talk about Joe and his coffee carts again. If you want to know more about Joe, go check out episode 2. I want to talk about a different story, but I want to frame it in the following sense. It's a busy Monday morning. You left the house 5 minutes later than you normally did. You rushed off to school safely. You got the kids there. And now you have to make your way back to the office. You follow your usual route of traffic and you get to an intersection that is all of a sudden jam packed. Cars are creeping across the intersection and you can't really see why. And you're trying to look ahead to see what's causing the trouble. And right at the front of the queue, you see a car with its hazards lights on and the bonnet is up and it looks to be broken down, stuck in the middle of the intersection. As the traffic slowly creeps by and you get closer, you find that the driver is sat behind the steering wheel, listening to his radio, jamming along to whatever's available, waiting for the assistance drivers to come along and support him. Immediately, I want to know what's going through your mind as you're seeing this unfold. If you're honest, it's a little bit frustrating and a little bit stressful. You're late for appointments potentially. You're late to get your day started. And this was an extra inconvenience that you just didn't plan for. But what's going through your mind about the driver? It's a question that I want you to pause on for this one. And let's roll that back and look at it from a different perspective. Same scenario. You left 5 minutes later, got the kids to school on time, and now you're making your way back. The car is still stuck in the intersection, causing traffic to be delayed. But as you get closer, you see that instead of the guy being sat in the driver's seat, he's actually outside of the car with his hand through the window on his steering wheel, pushing up against the A-pillar, trying to clear his car from the intersection. It's not long before other drivers quickly put their hazards on, jump out of their vehicle to try and support this guy to clear the intersection so that everybody else can go along their way. Now, my question is, what's different in these two scenarios? And the answer is quite simple. As humans, we are attracted to people that are making a difference. We easily support those who seem to be moving in a clear direction. We easily jump on board when somebody is moving in a direction that is offering value and that is going to solve a problem. And we know what's happening in that intersection. That guy is trying to clear the car from the intersection, to unblock traffic, to make it easier for everybody else. So the shift in our heads as humans, as we observe that, is easier to move to action and support than what it was in the first example when the driver was sat idle waiting for assistance to come his way. So why am I telling you this story? Well, when I was gifted the vision for Catalyst Hub and the completeness of the idea that my team and I spent a few weeks going over in terms of what we wanted to go to market with version 1, we came across a little bit of a funding opportunity. And for the largest part of 2024 and 2025 to date, I was driver number one. Let's get into the story and I'll tell you all about it. So, you've all heard the saying before, you need money to make money. But the reality that I've learned over the last couple of months is that money just multiplies existing actions. If you are already heading in a direction, money is only going to help support that vision, support those actions. We roll back to early 2024, I was really putting pen to paper, plotting down my vision for Catalyst Hub. I shared it with a few trusted sources, a mentor or two, and I made it into this big vision idea, this grand idea that I'd like to see come to reality. I calculated that I'd need a whole lot of money in order to make it happen. And I set about my ways trying to figure out how this is going to become a reality. Who could I seek for funding? What angels are going to come my way and invest early on a piece of paper vision? Using the mentors in my circle and the builders that are already working on their own businesses, they were all encouraging me to put this vision into action, to go out and see what I could do with it in the world. People were commenting and telling me that the vision is complete, the vision is whole, there is a space and a gap in the market that exists that Catalyst Hub has the ability to fill because nobody is formalizing it as they could see it in their spaces. And these are people that are out there every day, currently working on their businesses and on their brands, while I'm sat idle trying to get my vision into reality. After weeks and weeks of poring over the vision and perfecting what it is I was going to do in phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3 as the business was to scale if we were to get funding, and a whole lot of prayer and fasting, I came across an opportunity for funding applications through a public agency. So I'm going to pause there, because this is not a platform where we are going to be bashing government agencies or any agency for that matter. And I would just want to tell the story as I see it from my perspective. And I want to talk about my role in the journey so far. So let's rewind. In mid 2024, after we've had a complete mapping of the vision for Catalyst Hub, the team and I discovered this funding opportunity through a public agency. We were eligible. We read the brief. They were looking for a business that was specializing in supporting SMMEs in the country and the development of their business cases. They were looking for some business that was geared to include technology items like AI that can support small businesses and entrepreneurs in the market. It felt as if the brief was written directly for Catalyst Hub. That's how confident we were. Immediately we jump in, we dove in, we started the application process, we put our name in the hat. We met with some of the stakeholders early on. We were involved in some of the calls where we were able to ask questions about the application process, the limits for the funding, all the mechanics that we'd need to understand as we were going down this journey. And then the hammer dropped. We had to turn around our application within 2 weeks, 14 days. That was the craziest period of 2024 between about the middle of July, I beg your pardon, up until about the first, second week of August. It was all hands on deck. The entire team, we were jumping through hula hoops to make sure that our admin processes were in place, that we had every checkbox item mapped out, that we had our business plan that met the criteria for the proposal, that we mapped out our project plan for 6 months timelines, 12-month timelines, 18-month timelines. We had to map our path to break even in terms of the investments. And then we also had to give them a vision of what the business would look like at scale if we were to get to that point. So fast forward 2 weeks and we submit our proposal on time, having checked all the boxes and meeting all the criteria. And we thought we were taking a complete shot in the dark because we had jumped onto the process as late as what we did. Much to our surprise, a week or two later, we found out that we were shortlisted. We were selected and shortlisted for the next round of the process. And that next round of the process involved having to showcase our business case to the agency's panel of experts and a room of other entrepreneurs who are also vying for the same funding opportunity. As nerve-wracking as that presentation was to the room of experts and in front of all of my peers, we pulled it off. A month later, we found out that we were successful in our application. Toward the end of 2024, We had completed all of the requirements that we needed to further our application to get the funds moving. We were so excited. I know I was. And then delay after delay after delay after delay after no contact, after no follow-up emails, after delay. And as I'm recording this in November of 2025, I have still not received a single cent of that funding. The Catalyst team and I are bewildered about the process. And this is not a knock on the agency. Please, I'm sure you can share all sorts of crazy stories about funding that's taken maybe weeks or months or years to come through when you needed it. Like, remember, I'm driver number one. While this application process has been going on, I'm sat listening to the radio, living my life, waiting for the funding to come through when I could have been adding value. But I chose to be idle. I chose to sit back and wait. And that's the key part about the discussion. Regardless of the flaws of the funding application, it was my choice to sit idle and wait until the money was just right. And I could go out and start spending and buying things and getting the equipment that I needed in order to make this channel a reality, or in order to make the work that I'm supposed to be doing every day a reality. And the truth of it is, I don't need any of those things. My circle of builders and entrepreneurs and mentors and friends and family, I am so grateful to each and every one of them, because they didn't come around me and pat me on the head or pat me on the back and say, oh, don't worry, it will come through and then you can get going. No, these guys that I call my friends came around and challenged me and be like, okay, so why are you idle? What could you do today that could add value out there in the business world that you don't need money for? The same challenge that I'm laying down in this video was given to me. So what am I able to do to add value to other businesses? And I took some real time to think about that and pour over the real reason why I'm building Catalyst Hub. And I'm building Catalyst Hub because I believe in the spirit of community. I believe in the strength of doing things together with you. So I switched. I became driver number two. I put my hand through the window, rolled it down, put my hand on the steering wheel of the car, and I started pushing. As heavy and as difficult as it was, I started pushing. And guess what? That same community that challenged me, that same community that made me think about the things that I was doing, being idle about my business that is seemingly really good in terms of its idea and its vision, they came around and they supported me. They gave me opportunities to work on their brands. They offered me the ability to practice some of the skills that I want to put into Catalyst Hub and experiment in their spaces, in their protected brands. And for that, I will forever be grateful. But here's what we were able to do. We weren't idle anymore. The team and I, we've been able to do brand assessments and put what we were coaching into action. We've built websites. We've built automations for some of our teams and for some of the people in our community. We've helped people digitize their transactions. All of the things that we professed or that I told you about in episode 2 didn't come because we sat down and we put it on paper and we said, this is what we're going to put out. These are things that my community enabled me to practice in their businesses that I'm now able to offer to you through Catalyst Hub. So yes, every funding journey is going to be different. And if you are a new business entrepreneur and you're sitting in your spare room or your garage and you're thinking about how you can bring your business into the real world, maybe start with the same challenge. Before you start thinking about the funding, start thinking about what are you able to do in your business today that won't cost you a cent to show value. How can you show the market that what you have in your head or on your paper or in your business plan or in your cupboard, the product that you're working on, how can you show the market that it's valuable? How can you bring clarity to what you're doing? How can you show and prove that what you are working on is worth their attention, is worth their time? And then start with something small. If you follow my example, there are people in your circle right now that if you were to go to them with your idea, if you were to go to them with your product, they would experiment with you because they trust you. And that is what my experience was. I went to the ones around me that allowed me to experiment, that allowed me to fail safely and to learn in their spaces. And now what we are doing is we're expanding on that. If you go to catalysthub.co.za right now, you can sign up for the early access program for free. And all we are doing is we are further validating the services and functions that's available on the platform today to make sure that we are offering what is correct and what is right for your business, unique for you. But before all of those things, Catalyst Hub is about building community. Because right now, I truly believe that you are sat somewhere watching this or listening to this, and you could be working on something amazing, but you want to maybe bounce it off a community that you can trust. You maybe want to bounce it off some ideas and help to unpack this a little further so that you don't learn or you don't make the same mistakes. And that's what Catalyst is going to be about. First and foremost, we are a community building platform. I believe, again, that we are building community and we're going to be doing this together. And before all of the services, before all of the products that will be available, before all the shiny, glittery things, it's about you, your business, and the ability to unpack it on a platform where others are going to support you. And that's the Catalyst Hub vision at its core. So I ask you, what are you working on? What can we unpack together? What do you want to throw against the wall to see what sticks? What can we help you unblock? What can we help you solve? How can we scale your business? How can we get you transacting? How can we clean up your brand? How can we help to take what you are doing in your garage and help you compete with those out there in the market on the same platform? So back to my story. Where to from here? Well, the reason I sought after funding, in my opinion, was because I wanted to amplify what I was able to do. I told you in episode 2, I've got a really big vision for bringing Catalyst Hub out of the digital world and into the real world, a real space where we are able to connect and share our visions and share and talk about our businesses in a place while we grab a cup of coffee and access real tools, real support with real people. And I still believe that that's possible today. But since I've been in the mode of driver number 2, pushing my car through the intersection, so many people have come onto my path that have given me new insights and new ideas on how I could creatively fund my business, still achieve the vision that I've laid out on paper, still get to that point where Catalyst Hub is in a location for us to all commute to. And maybe you're sitting there right now and you've got a creative idea that you'd like to share with me around funding. Because I don't have all the answers, and I'm okay to say that. I saw something available on a website that came across me and I thought God had answered a prayer, and I still believe that to be true today, even though the journey is as chaotic as what it is. Maybe you've got a creative idea on how I could fund Catalyst. Please get in touch and let me know. It has to be legal though. I'm not going to be doing anything untoward here. So to recap one last time, to all my mentors, all of my family and friends who came around me, that didn't pity me, that challenged me to do more, I want to say again, thank you. This is dedicated to you. This effort, me being clumsy in front of the camera and telling my story, this is because you guys believed in me and I'm pushing through and I'm being disciplined and I'm continuing to journey the clumsy bit about building a business in Africa. And if this resonates with you at any level, or you want to jump off and you just maybe want to chat about it, please do get in touch. I'm interested to hear the story. Pretty soon I'm going to be joined by others telling their story. And I think you've got a cool story to tell as well. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. I want to round off this discussion with a very simple closing thought, right? Start with the people around you who trust you. And don't be afraid to fail. Start small. Start showing value in the simplest of ways and then build on those building blocks. Start with something small, but start with something clear and use it as the basic foundation to build your platform that you're eventually going to leap off of. Don't be afraid. Take action. I'm taking action. And that one problem that you solve turns into another and another. And that one friend tells the other friend, and the other friend connects you with a different business person. And before you know it, you have a portfolio that you can display proudly and loudly about the work that you are doing, where you are actually making a difference under the banner of your vision, under the banner of your brand. And guess what? It didn't take you a lot of funding to get there. And if you're still stuck on some of these things, please take me up on the challenge. Head down to catalysthub.co.za, sign up for the early access program. Let's get connected and let's start bouncing ideas off the wall and off each other and see what we are able to do with your business case today that can make a difference in the real world. So that's it. I'm gonna remind you, my name is Craig. I'm building a business in 2025 in South Africa, and I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm figuring it out day by day. And I'd like you to join me on my journey. come along. Let's do this together, because I firmly believe, as I will forever say this, that doing it together is better than doing it alone. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.